Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over the new patch that will be released on October 19th, which is today, that has a ton of bug fixes and a ton of new information on character and server transfers. And I just wanted to go over the stuff that I found to be more important or more interesting. So first off, we're getting the Stoic title for free, and then they're going to be adding the waiting emote into the game store, which you will also be able to get for free. And then we got a ton of additional information for the character server transfers. And they pretty much have an FAQ on this post, so if you want to check out all of the stuff for yourself. But the general gist is you're keeping all your personal stuff. So all character progression, inventory storage, all your currency, all your houses, decoration, all quest progress, pretty much everything for your character. But you will have to be leaving your company. You have to remove all your trading post, sell and buy orders. You have to be in a settlement or a sanctuary, but we did get some confirmation on what servers you're going to be able to transfer to. So there's only 3 things you have to look out for when choosing a new server to transfer to. You cannot move your character to a full world, so you wouldn't really want to move there unless your friend's on there or something, because those worlds are probably going to be the ones with queues that are completely filled up. You cannot move your character into a world in maintenance, so you pretty much just can't transfer when there's maintenance going on, and you cannot move your character to a world set that you have an existing character in already. So if you have a character, say in a world that you made to play with your friends until you could transfer your main, you'll have to delete that character to move your other character on to that server world set. And that's pretty much it. You should be able to transfer your character to pretty much any other server that's in your specific region. And I think that's one of the issues that a lot of people have been talking about, is that you're not able to move between different regions, but I don't think it's overall that big of a deal. And also, after all of these free transfers go out later down the road, they will be adding tokens to the in-game store that you can buy if you want to transfer your character to a different server again down the road. So just like most other games have, World of Warcraft, all these other big MMOs, they have services to where you can pay to transfer your character to another server, and that will be the same here. Then we have a bunch of general changes, and like I said, I just want to go over some of the specific ones that I found more interesting or important. So first off, we have adjusted the respawn timer of Boatswain Ambrose and various other elite enemies throughout the world. And this doesn't specifically say, but mentioning that specific enemy, it seems like they're buffing or fixing the respawn times of certain enemies. So with that specific enemy, the respawn time seemed to be incredibly low because a lot of people were having difficulties finding that enemy. So it's seeming like they're buffing or fixing the timers of some specific enemies that weren't spawning as much. An error message now appears when players attempt to buy their own items in the trading post, and this happened to me multiple times because I'll always put up the rare and epic armor and weapon pieces that I get that I think are good that people would buy, and then I'll go on there looking for pieces to buy for myself, maybe see a gathering piece or something with luck on it that I want, try to buy it, can't buy it, not sure why. I go to check my items and it's something I'm actually selling, so that's a good message to have. And then we have one of the biggest ones, reverted a chest/loot change from update 1.0.2 that was causing too many refining reagents to roll from chests. So if you guys don't know, the last patch, they increased these refining reagents, which are the sandpaper, the flux, all that type of stuff. They increased the amount you got from chests, but the amount we were getting now was ridiculous. There was so many of the tier 5 refining agents on my server that tier 5 were all at like 1/10 of a gold. They were incredibly cheap, and I was getting so many that I had multiple settlements completely filled up of these in terms of how much weight I could have in the settlement of that storage, and I was just having to constantly put them up on the trading post. So I actually had storage in certain settlements. You just got so many, but now it's going to reduce this probably by quite a bit. So I'd recommend saving those up now because the price is going to skyrocket on these, and you'll be able to make a ton of additional gold if you save them up right now, or if you haven't sold them from farming them all when they were ridiculous. Also, another one of the biggest fixes, adjusted the volume of the Amazon game's splash screen. So that's right when you open up the game, the first thing that pops up is the Amazon logo, and it's super loud. They're reducing the volume on this because it is ridiculously loud, and for whatever reason, like every new game that comes out has this issue. And then we have probably the biggest bug fix in this patch, fix issues with the tier 4 and tier 5 Azoth stats, so you can now go close the level 55 and 65 invasion portals, which is massive. This is one of the end game in-game systems that nobody has been able to do since the game has come out. And these things have been absolutely everywhere. There's been constant invasions going on in half the settlements in the game because nobody could close these. There's some elite areas that have these portals tied in to the actual environment of these areas that you cannot close either. So this should add some additional content to go do at the end game, even though they're just copy and paste of the lower level versions. Fix the issue causing the abandoning event notification to persist. Finally, when you would walk through an invasion portal and not do it, you would now just have at the top right side of your screen just say leaving event card until you relogged, which is completely ridiculous. Fix an issue that caused arena keys to not drop as intended. Now the arenas are these single boss fights that are actually pretty hard. They buffed them up quite a bit. These can drop legendaries, tons of other really good gear, stuff like that. And I'm assuming this is talking about pieces of these keys because these are crafted like tuning orbs. I'm not sure if this means you can legitimately just get the whole key itself, or if this is just talking about one of the specific resources that are random enemy drops that you need to craft that tuning orb. Then we also have some additional information tacked on after these patch notes were released and some kind of emergency fixes. So first off, fix an issue that caused holding and dragging around the client while in windowed mode to constantly re-trigger invincibility. So this was the invincibility glitch, and essentially how people would do this, they would get the talent for the hatchet that made you invincible for 3 seconds after taking fatal damage, but if you put your game in windowed mode while this was happening and just dragged it around, for whatever reason your character wouldn't be updated, so it would just constantly refresh the invincibility, making that character completely unkillable until you stop. This was also being used by some people in wars to never be able to be taken off of a capture point. And there were also some other fixes, but the main one that they haven't talked about is I think the biggest issue people are talking about in wars is that once too many AoE spells and people are in the same area or on the same flag, that instance will essentially just freeze, but people can still capture the flag while it's frozen, people can still deal damage while it's frozen, and it's just a complete and utter mess. Happens every single war, and some wars are won or lost by this freezing happening, and there's none of this in the patch notes. And then the final thing is there has been a lot of discussion within our community on whether it is safe to use certain add-ons in the game. At this time, we are still in discussion with Overwolf in regards to add-ons they may be offering, including the use of the Overwolf New World minimap add-on. So essentially, Overwolf is an in-game overlay program that works with tons of different games. They have tons of different programs for different games. So say Hearthstone, they'll have overlays to help you with remembering your cards, showing you how much cards you have, showing what specific cards, showing turns, all that type of stuff. You can use it in Teamfight Tactics to show all the different item combinations, all that type of stuff. They have overlays for that type of stuff. And right now they are offering a mini map for New World that's just an overlay that essentially shows a circle of your map just as a mini map. And they're in discussions with Overwolf about this. So I would not be using this at this point and wait till there's another update from the developers before using this. It sounds like there's a possibility that this is going to end up being an add-on that is allowed, and that is why they're actually in discussion with Overwolf over this add-on, because normally they would just say it's not allowed, doesn't matter who it's from. But this most likely means that they may allow it if there's some adjustments made to that add-on. So it's pretty much all I want to go over with these patch notes. Some pretty good fixes. There are still some massive issues that have not been addressed whatsoever, like the massive freezing and instance lag of wars, Outpost Rush still being completely disabled, and 99.9% of the player base have not been able to play that endgame content feature, so they should probably get on that. And also I'm wondering if we're going to get any information on new content anytime soon, because if you guys never followed the game over the last year or a bit longer, multiple developers that have multiple times said that they want a content update every month after release of the game, so new content on a monthly basis. They hinted at stuff coming sooner than the first month, and we haven't gotten any information on new content or anything like that, not even like a future roadmap. So it's starting to seem like we may not be getting any content anytime soon because of how buggy the game was when it was released. So subscribe if you want to see more New World or other MMO videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about these new updates and patch notes, and thanks for watching.